starting over. So we're doing some trimming now on this seam that I just finished. And we need to trim these little triangle shaped cuts. And we want to be careful not to trim into the seam. I'm going to trim that one on the back part. Needs to be one right there. That's an easier way to do it. I hope y'all can hear me. I'm so scared I'm going to cut too far. Because I have a pretty good size seam allowance here. I do have room to trim. It looks like down here I may have a problem with turning this right side out. Yeah, but maybe not. Maybe it'll be okay. It just looks like it's going to need to be a seam right here to put those together. But maybe not. Maybe it'll be okay. So we're going to go back up to the top. Because when we get ready, we want to fold. Not sure you can see it. Sorry guys, the hands. Okay. So I have trimmed the edges. You can see that. You want to trim it a little bit. You don't want to go into the seam, but you want to trim some of that seam allowance right there into these little triangle shaped cuts. And you can do it however you want. I try to make sure that I get both layers of fabric and the binding. I may have to cut off some of the binding, but I kind of like that thickness on the edges. If they're gonna be pot holders, you want to make sure they're actually thick enough. So if you cut off all your binding on the edges, then you won't have a nice edge. You won't have a nice thick thing that keeps the heat off the counter. And I have some other stuff that we could be using. It's a insulator, but I used some of that on some pot holders, and I really didn't like the way it puckered. It made the fabric pucker and didn't look right. And I have one of those in my kitchen right now, and it has a little bit of a pucker, and I'm not really sure I like it. You do you, but again, I'll just say, not real thrilled with it. Everybody has to kind of do their own thing, but I like trying things. I'll try something, and if I don't really care for it, then I just don't do it again. I will use it on some different things, like pot pinchers, because it keeps the heat from your hand. It puts the heat back onto the hot item. And so, like your pot or pan or cookie sheet or whatever you're using, that you want to use those for. Okay, I've trimmed that. If you can see, now I want to connect this. So I think I'm going to stitch on down to here. First, I want to get rid of this. Clean as you go, so you don't have to pick up the floor as much later, because all this stuff ends up on the floor. Or your arms. So anyway, I'm going to go down to here. I'm going to start right there. And go up. And trim it to the other side. And threads. And it's still about 1/4 inch. So I think at this point, we're going to lay it this way. Or let me first see what happens if I put those together. Let's say I actually stitch those together. Am I still going to be able to fold it? And it looks like I will. Looks like I'll be able to. And I could have, what I need is to make sure that it's centered before I do it. I think I'm going to make one more little seam right here. I may do it on the side. Just want to connect those before you go any further. Okay. Have to find the edge of the other one. Okay. It should probably be, I probably should be doing it this way. Let's try it like this. And you really only need the edge right here connected. You can probably trim more later. Let's see what we have. Let's see what we have. Let's see if it's connected when I get done. I don't know. I don't know if I like that or not. Because it still looks like it's not. It's not connected. So I might just go ahead and lay it flat and do it. Okay, we have a couple more stitches. Can you see we're getting those out? I'm taking those back out. It's okay to have some of them, but it looks like it went a little bit too far down in. So I'm going to disconnect that. Okay, come on. There you go. I think I might just disconnect all of it. I may just lay one on top of the other. I'm not sure. Okay. We may just connect them that way. So what I might do, is just fold this one back and bring this one around the curve, folding it over, and just end right there. Just connect it right there. Okay, I'm going to follow this seam right here. I'm going to flip it over and go right along that same seam. Because I can see it on the back. connected. Let's hope I didn't screw up the back. And I have to sometimes check and make sure my video is running. So if you see me looking, that's a lot of it. I don't want it stopping while I'm doing this. Okay, so let's stop right here. Save that. Uh-oh, looks like I made a pucker. It may be okay, but I kind of don't like it. Take out a couple stitches right there. Okay. Okay, that's better. I'm not real sure. I'm guessing it's okay because you're going to stitch it down. It has a couple little things in it that bother me, but I think it's going to be okay. So then you lay it down and you're going to fold these. And I'm going to go ahead and do this part first because it's the peak. It's the where the hearts connect. And this is going to be the back, so it's not going to look as good on the back. But when you flip it over, it should look good, or it look, you know, halfway decent anyways. So I think I'm going to start right there because that's going to be kind of a difficult area. And I want it like peaked, like that. I don't like the way that's folded. Let's get rid of some of this excess fabric under here. There's too many layers. Okay. Now, so we're going to lay one piece down, and then I'm going to fold the other one over it all the way. I hope you guys can see this. Okay, I have so many threads. Threads are bugging me. Okay. Okay. We're just going to try this and see what happens. Okay. I'm going to go back and start right there. I hope this is okay. Looks like it has some puckers in it, but it might be okay. It's going to have some spots where the curves are. And I may have to make another seam over top of this one to make sure I include all the pink binding. So we'll see how that goes. I hope y'all can see this. If you can't, just put it on Zoom and I will try and get it closer. That's better. And put it on a little slower so I could pay attention to what I'm doing. If I get going too fast, that's when I make mistakes. When I'm doing a project like this, I like for it to be somewhat neater. It's kind of looking like one side is like wider than the other. So, I don't know. I want this to fit in there without looking folded over, and I really don't know how to do that. Okay, I'm going to put this down so we can turn. And tuck in all that little loose thread and stitch it. I want that all stitched down. And I wanted the curve, I wanted the fabric to curve. I wish I had one of those little tools. I'll get one. Just need to figure out what it's called. Oh, I forgot. I was going to put my little, oh well. When I have binding, there's really no way to put my loop on there, but I'll put it right there. I have another set that I made, and those ones are right here. Those ones have little hearts on the back. You can't see them, but this is another set that I did. It's kind of hard to see. There they are. Okay. Let me tilt this just a little. Sorry, guys. Okay, now you can see this is the set where I just sewed little hearts on the back, impressions on I'm not sure you can see it. Do you see that? And then this is the front. And I didn't do a really good job because, well, I guess they're the same. I was looking to make sure. This one is a little different on the hearts, but they're there, so it'll work. Everybody seems to be pinking up their kitchen now, so I thought these would go good for somebody that likes pink. So, and one of those has where I added this after I got done. I added it to the back. This one was actually incorporated from a length of loop that I had left over from the binding. So I left it connected. It doesn't look as pretty. This one actually looks better with the separate piece because I just like hem both ends of it, and then I put my seam up the side of it, and then it's ready. So anyways, back to what we were doing. So we're almost there. This hobby keeps me from spending too much time watching the news or watching other nonsense, and the news gets to be really ridiculous. And I have family members that, at least one family member that has just pretty much written everybody off because he thinks we're all stupid. Political thing. And that's why I hate politics. So I try to stay away from it. The world's going to turn whether we say anything or not. So you do you. And this is the back. And then this is the front. And I'm not sure you can really see it. I see a little piece of thread sticking out. I tried to make sure all the threads were tucked in good before I started stitching. I see one here. So it almost looks like one side of the heart is kind of lopsided, but some hearts are like that. You know, it's not perfect. And then I have this other one. And first I need to, I'll do the loop later. Well, maybe I'll show you how to do the loop. What I do is I take what's left over. I'm going to trim the bias off. Not the bias, but the leftover stuff. Okay. Now I like to make sure these are about 5 inches long. So right here I can measure because I have inches starting right there. And so this looks like 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be about right there. I think what I'm going to do is save a little bit longer piece if I measure like this. I go to 5 inches. And that's actually a little over 5, but not much. So that's okay. I'm going to cut here on the end, and then I'm going to make a cut right here. And then I have a bigger piece left over for another loop of some kind. I have like scads of fabric for loops that are about 4 to 5 inches long. 4.5. 4 is kind of short. So anyway, you want to trim it. You want to fold it in halfway, finger crease it, just finger press it, and then do that to the other side. And these are already pre-creased because I did them a while ago. Then I fold that over, and first I want to make my little hem in each end. Let's keep it neat. So you don't want all those loose threads showing at the end. It's too rough looking. If that's what you're going for, go ahead. But you better stop. You better behave. My sewing machine likes to, when it's really thin fabric, sometimes it'll get kind of bunched up in there. And for that, I think you're supposed to take like not longer stitches, but shorter stitches. I'm not real sure. So let me tear these out and start over. Looks like a little knot right there. Okay, she's gone. Okay, here we go. Get all this junk out of here. Okay, we're gonna try it again. And I'm gonna start up more toward the center, and then I can always back it up. So hold that, and then we can back it up, hopefully. It's not perfect, but that part, the far part, a half an inch or quarter of an inch, that's going to be tucked in and doubled under anyway. So if you don't start them right at the very edge, that's fine, because this, again, is going to get tucked under like this. Tucked that way and then tucked on that end. So the part you want to worry about is the center part. That's the part that's going to be showing, because that'll be the outside of the fold. Okay. And we're going to go up this side. And then I also don't knot these because once you sew them down again on the pot holder, they're going to be fine. Okay, that one's done. Let's do the other one. Put our hems in. I do about a 16th of an inch or eighth of, maybe an eighth, almost an inch. And again, I don't start way up at the very edge. I just start right there. And I notice that if I have a little bit of pressure holding my fabric, sometimes like at this end, when it feeds through, if I'm pulling just gently, it won't get tangled as much. So, and I didn't do that on the first seam where you saw me get it bunched up in there. So I'll try it again on this one. And remember, kind of give it a little tug this way. There we go. We got the tension going. You want to let it feed, but you don't want to let it go crazy on you. Okay, now we're going to fold that one, 1/4 inch, fold this one, 1/4 inch, and they don't have to be perfect. And then you're going to stitch it. And I don't know all the tricks and ins and outs of sewing. I started sewing in high school in the 70s, and I did okay. Now, that's by the bump, so I'm going to move it on a little by itself. Doesn't hurt anything, because again, you're going to stitch it down when you get to the end. So when you get to the end and you put this on something, none of those little raw edges are going to be showing. If you're worried about it, trim them off. And then I'm going to lay it like this. Bring the seam down to the bottom, flip it like that. And if you want, it all depends on what you want, but do them both alike. Be consistent. You want to make them alike. You don't want to have one way, one the other way. So I'm going to, since this is the back, I'm going to fold it like this, because you want to be able to hang this up. And you could probably put it here and let it hang like that. Still going to be cute. And you could also put this in the center of your heart to cover any imperfections. But again, I kind of like it on the back, and I kind of like it centered. You do you, but I like it right there. I don't know if you can see it or not. So I see another thread I'm going to have to snip. I hope I don't cut it. Okay. Yeah, these are, I may have to fix some right over here too. Well, anyways, let's go ahead and turn it over and stitch that down. I'm going to stitch it on this side, and I hold those side by side, even at the bottom. Put the thread where it's supposed to be first. Let's do that first. Okay, now position those right about there. And then I go back and forth across this several times just to make sure. And then I knot it on either end. And I also go backwards, back and forth just a few times. I think that looks pretty good. That'll hold. I mean, you're not going to be tugging on it like crazy all the time. It's just a pot holder, right? Right. Okay. So you can fold it that way, or you can fold it that way. Totally up to you. It's just a pot holder, but if you like flowers, and a lot of people are doing pink right now in the kitchen, so they kind of look cute. So now we're off to the next one. So the first thing I'm going to do, again, you guys all know what I'm going to do. I'm going to fold this and crease it. And since you've already seen me do the other one, I'm not going to put you through that. So it's already been 30 minutes, and I'm sure you guys have better things to do, like me. So, anyway, nice talking with you, or nice talking at you again. So, come back and see me. And if you like this video, please click like and subscribe and come back and see me.